Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the new collection from Nomad Cosmetics. Nomad Cosmetics always does different destinations and now they're doing Provence. I've never been in Provence, but I want to go someday. Maybe I can just get the feeling a little bit with this collection. We are going to do some swatches. I'm going to do 2 different looks and we're just going to see what I think about the quality, what I think about the color story. And if you're interested in that, do keep on watching. And if you haven't been here before, this is your first video here. Hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty and makeup. I love everything beauty and makeup related, especially things that are from indie brands and things that are a little bit more on the colorful side, which is definitely what we have today. And if you want to see more of that on your timeline, do not forget to subscribe because I upload several videos every week. This collection was sent to me as PR, and per usual Nomad does such a good job with like the theming and the packaging and everything. And this is the, excuse my French, the Fêtes de Provence. Am I somewhere in the neighborhood? And the palette front and the box looks the same and you have the color story on the back. And then there's also something that I don't think that they've released before. There are 4 different glosses in this collection. All of these glosses are shimmery glosses. And even though I am not the biggest fan of shimmery glosses, it all depends on the formula. So we are gonna try at least 2 of them out because I'm gonna do 2 looks. And these glosses also come in these beautiful, beautiful packagings. I'll just show you some swatches of the glosses right here so you can see what they look like. There's a bright pink, a more lavender, and a bright purple, and then there is a light pink as well with some like goldy glitter. The packaging is really stunning. Love the theming of this. Like I said, I haven't been to Provence myself. Provence is a region in France. It is in the southeastern is that how you say it? Southeastern corner of France. It is absolutely stunning on picture. I want to go one day, definitely. And so I have no idea if this color story that they have here represents Provence or not. But one thing that I know of Provence from being like a Swedish person is that they are known for their lavender and they're known for their honey, especially lavender honey. So I will say that I do think that the color story reflects that in just what I see here with the lavender shades and the yellows. There's also a couple of more wine shades because France, wine, it comes naturally. So I do think that this color story is really nice. And what I like about this color story is that this is a little bit more of a muted color story. There are muted reds and like muted more lavender purples and these more grayish tones. Nothing in here is super bright or super like neon or like just bright circus colors. So even though this is a colorful palette, I will say just looking at this, it seems a little bit more on toned down, like it's almost been mixed with a little gray, and I do appreciate how this looks. The first color combo that I thought of when I saw this palette was yellow and lavender. So that's gonna be my first look. Per usual, we're gonna do a first and a second impression, basically 2 different eye looks. I'm gonna use 2 of the glosses on my lips. I'm gonna let you know what I think about the quality. This is being released on the 12th of July. Not 100% sure about the pricing, but I'm thinking because this is the same size as their normal $39 palettes, so I'm thinking that this palette is probably going to be $39. Not 100% sure about glosses. I don't know if I don't think they've had glosses before, but I will leave a link to it down below. And if you want to save some money ordering from Nomad Cosmetics, you can use my code. My code is Angelica and you will get 10% off your order. The code is affiliated, and if you do use my codes or if you do use my links, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really does help out. Let's put on the gloss. Okay, so I'm gonna do the lavender look. Should I do this like super sparkly, almost lavender pink gloss? Is this what I'm doing? This is the most sparkly of the ones. And this one is called, is that the name? Because that is small. Holy bananas. Is that the name? What is the name? Wait, oh. I swear. Glaze lip gloss in Le Fête. Okay, holy bananas. Let's put this on. Doesn't smell like anything, just smells like ingredients. That is very sparkly. Maybe a little bit too icy for my liking. Like I said, I love a lip gloss, but I like it like a jelly lip gloss. Something that doesn't have a sparkle, but has like a little bit of color, but it's not opaque. And I can feel the glitter a little bit. But if you like a super glittery lip gloss, that is definitely what this one is. It is very highly reflective. So yeah, I'll leave this on for the look. Let me zoom in. Let's do an eye look. I'm super excited. Let's go. I'm just gonna tap out the eye primer a little bit. Let's start with this one that's called Fête, and then let's do the one that's called Champs de Lavande. It's lavender feels, I can tell you that, but the rest I don't know. And the Marché de Provence. I'm trying here, guys. I read French for 5 years. Leave me in France and I'll die of scurvy. I can only order coffee and champagne. Last time I tried to order something in France, I was at Charles de Gaulle and I tried to order a cappuccino and I did it in French. And the guy at the coffee shop answered me back in English, even though I ordered in what I thought was French, but he obviously disagreed. I'm just gonna put this one out here. What are we gonna do for the second look? I don't know. I kind of want to do something red and pink because I love that so much, but it's that predictable. Do you think that's predictable? That is a really nice dark purple. There is one that is, I don't want to say this is a black, but it's like a charcoal gray, like a really, really dark gray. So I think I could probably deepen up with that one if I wanted to as well. Maybe I'll take this in a little longer than I'm used to, because usually I don't bring in the darker color in the crease. You know what? Today I will. I will put in the dark color here as well, like that. See, we all need to try new things, including me. And I also need to make sure that I'm not getting a lot of creasing. I'm just packing this on. I like to work on an unset primer, and I have really, this past 6 months, almost exclusively done looks starting from the darkest and working to the lightest, because I've realized that that really does create the kind of looks that I prefer, which is where the shadows show up true to pan. When I want to make the colors morph a little bit and turn into something else, I will layer them on top of each other, because of course the color that you put on top is going to morph and turn into a mixture of the one you had underneath and the one you're putting on top. Like, for example, I like mixing some of the shadows in my palette with Oden's eye to make them look more yellow, or make them look more brown, or make them look more green. But when I'm just trying out shades like this, I kind of just like to see how they look on their own. And I think that that looks really, really pretty. Am I going to put that under my eyes as well? Is that what I'm doing? I'm not too thorough when I'm doing this first one. I'm just putting on as much as I like. And then I'm just wiggling a little bit on the edge so it's not super harsh. But not trying to like blend it out or anything like that. I'm just pushing on the color that I want and just gently, like just pushing a little bit on the edge to make it not so saturated. It's gonna make it a lot easier when I put the second color on. But I think this is it, but I kind of want to put a little bit on my lower lash line. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my lower lash line. I'm gonna clean the brush off. I'm just gonna use a pencil brush that already has a little purple staining, and I think I'm just gonna put on half the lower lash line, and I think I'm gonna do yellow on the inner half. Okay, now I'm gonna take the lavender shade. Ooh, that is more pigmented than I expected it to be. Maybe this will be a nice inner corner. Every time I see a pigmented pastel, I'm like, ooh, is this an inner corner highlight shade? I'm just packing this on the edge, and it's looking a little blocky right now, but I'll blend it in a bit. I just want to make sure that the colors are where I want them to be to begin with. And I'm also taking it a little bit longer in the crease than I did the darker shade. Then I am just, with small circular motions, I'm gonna start blending this towards the crease. I'm gonna take some off my brush and just trying to make this upper edge, not the lower edge, screw that one, we're not doing that one yet, but the upper edge, that one I'm gonna try and do as smooth as I can. And I'm not a pro, I'm doing okay. And remember, we're not trying to get perfection. We're not trying to get that airbrushed Instagram result. We're trying to get good enough. Just something that we feel like we can go out in, something we feel like we can be proud of. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. Now I'm going back to the brush that I had the dark shade, and I'm going in again with that one. I'm blending over the edge again, being a little bit more softer with the brush this time, trying with small circular motions again to blend and intensify that darker color so that it can look a little bit more seamless. I do not have a cool skin tone, so sometimes with these really cool colors, the ones that have like gray in them or have a very cool undertone, it can be really hard for me to blend these in without overextending them and making them look ghoulish on me. So I'm trying to not overblend because that can make these shades look a little ashy on me. So I'm trying to be a little bit deliberate. I'm thinking we're gonna try a little bit of this charcoal shade to see if we can deepen up if we want to, and it's also like a good way to see if these shadows are buildable. I have noticed that like most shadows, of course, they perform the absolute best if you just put them on an unset base, at least in my humble opinion. But also most formulas will perform really good if you layer two mattes on top of each other. And then we have some formulas that just do not want that. But this formula clearly thinks that that is a good idea. Works out really good. Now we were able to get this to be even darker out here. I like that. It's very, very cool tone. I'm feeling slightly Halloween, but it's only because I don't feel like I am this cool tone, but it's giving a very dramatic effect. You know what I want to do? Here's what I want to do. I want to use the two matte yellows. I want to use both of them, and then I want to layer the shimmer yellow on top because I want to see how these are. So I'm going to start with the oh, this is the lavender honey that I talked about. Miel de lavande. I'm so sorry for butchering your language. I swear I studied it for such a long time. You might not believe that, but I really actually love French, and I specifically chose French. Ooh! So cool. I specifically chose French in school as my third language, because of course we have Swedish and then we have English, and then I chose French as my third language because I think it's so beautiful, and I was so fascinated by it. And then who would have thought I would be absolutely sucky at it? Well, maybe I would have thought that, but yeah, not great at it. Let's just put it like that. That is very, very intense. I'm thinking I'll put a little bit on my lower lash line as well, just in the beginning. I think that's a good idea. And then we have this Champ the Tournesol. Is that Fields of Sunflowers? Is that what it means? If it is, I am a genius and I deserve an award. If it's not, let's just forget this happened. So I'm gonna put that in my inner corner, and I'm just gonna blend it in a little bit and layer on top of this one so we can get a little bit of a gradient of like a light yellow into a darker one. Okay, I really think I need that shimmer to tie this together, because you can see that this part, it's not meeting the best. So I'm gonna use the Fleur de Mimosa, which is mimosa flower. It is this yellowy shimmer. Oh, that is you can see, that is a bright gold with a little bit of a lime shift. I feel like that's gonna be very unpredictable because it looks lime, but then it has that yellow base that's gonna be so good that I packed it on that yellow because it's gonna look super opaque. Oh, what a fun color. Oh, that is so fun. I will say it doesn't really stick to my powdered base down here, so I'm probably gonna have to try and reapply that over maybe a colored pencil or something. So that is good to know. If you get this palette and you like working with a powdered eyeshadow base, you might not get as impactful of a result because it didn't want to stick as much to my lower lash line. I was in the middle of mascara and I was thinking, I want to do a liner. Like, I haven't done a liner in a hot minute. And I was like, it was too long. So let's complete, look at me getting the liner all over. But I will fix that. I will show you how to fix that. So I want to do something that's a wing. But I don't want to do something that's too much. And leave that. Don't touch that until it dried. If you do a mistake, leave it. And see, I'm covering most of it up. Have patience with mistakes. You can fix it once it dries down. See, I ended up doing a thick line instead and I covered it up. Ta-da! Is this liner even? I feel like it's not. I mean, maybe it's even enough. I don't want to do a big wing. I just want to do something. So I think I'm going to keep it like that. And a little mascara. Right? I haven't done a wing in a long time. This is the look with the mascara and the liner. I am going to put some falsies on. I'm going to put some of these that are a little bit smaller. These are the bright lashes in Flare. You see, these are half lashes and they're a little bit, well, they're flared. Wow. Captain Obvious. Reporting for duty. But they are just going to half the eye on me. I haven't cut these. I haven't trimmed them all. They're from Bright Lashes. Really like these. And they are not too long and not too thick so that you actually could see these as being more on the natural side. At least according to me. This is the first look with the Provence palette. I will say, now that I backed off a little bit, I think the shimmer shade is absolutely incredible. And I really like the yellowy shades. But I think since I did the liner, I probably should have gone in a little bit more with the purples to get it to take over a little bit more out here. But on the other side, I always do these super dramatic and super colorful things. So maybe something that's like colorful but not like in your face is nice too, as a little bit of a change. And I really like the combo between yellow and purple. And I feel like this is what I said, a more toned down version of that, with just the lavenders and the yellowy here. They have just a little bit of a toned down hue in them. Personally, I prefer colors that are more leaning on the warm spectrum than the cold spectrum. But if you are the opposite of me and you're thinking that, oh, all colorful shades or all fun palettes are always leaning more on the yellowy spectra or leaning a little bit more warm, and you want something that's leaning a little bit more cool, this could be for you, because there's definitely a lot of gray tones in this. And I can even see here that it's probably a little bit more on the muted side. But let's try the red. Let's try the red in the next look, because I'm very, very excited to be seeing what that is all about. Back for a second look, and I'm going to be using the gloss in miel. So it's in honey. Whew. That is a pink with a gold sheen. Yeah, I think you can see. Initial reaction, I like this one better than the other one because it's not as frosty. This is more my type of gloss. Not 100% sure if this is gonna go with the eye look that we're doing, but it is what it is. I am gonna do a little eye primer, same one as I used in the other look, and then we are gonna start with the red one that is called, wait, let me look. The red one that is called Macaron. This one. It is like the true red. The other one is a bit more pinky raspberry. This is red. And that is what we're doing. I'm gonna do one of, ooh, that is nice. I'm gonna do one of my favorite combinations of color in the world, which is a pink and red. That is nice. It is a nice, it's a little bit of a muted red. It's leaning a little bit more on the, I don't want to say cool side, but there's definitely not an orangey undertone to this one, or like a warm undertone. I mean, the red is always warm, but I think you get what I'm saying. So I am gonna see if I can color block this a little bit, because I don't want this to be taken over by the pink. Because if you mix a white with a red, you do get pink. So when you blend out the red with the pink, there is a tendency of making the entire look lean a little on the pinky side. And I kind of want to see what happens if I only use the red out here and only use the pink on the inner part and try to blend them together. Like, will we be able to keep this looking red? It's an experiment, okay? I think I'm gonna do a little bit of this on my lower lash line too. Okay, so I found a clean brush and I am just blending on the edge so that we can have this be a little bit more soft without having to use a pink. I'm trying here, people. I want points for trying, okay? So let's see if we can just keep this to be red out here without shearing it out too much. It's really beautiful though. I am really liking the tone of this shadow. So that is looking really nice. I was gonna say let's do another clean brush, but I'm really having high hopes for my brushes here. This actually looks, I was gonna say this looks clean, but it's not. But I think maybe there's been like white in this or something. So we are gonna pick up the shade that's called Rosé, which is this like bubblegum pink. It is not like a pastel. It is a little bit more pigmented than a pastel, but it is definitely a light pink. Ooh, and you can see the primer has creased a little bit, so I'm just popping over that crease a little bit too, so that we don't set the crease. Is this gonna be good? That is the question. I have high hopes for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna pack this in the inner part of the lid, the inner part of the crease, and also on the lower lash line, and then we are gonna blend them together without blending them together. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so now I have like the pink and the red like a block. I did do a little bit on my under eyes too, but I feel like this is the part that needs fixing. So I am gonna, without any additional product, I am just gonna dot. You can see I'm dotting on the edge. Just a little bit, and then with the brush that I was blending with, I'm taking just a little bit of the red, and I'm just gonna, again, dot on the edge. And I'm gonna do this back and forth a couple of times to get this edge to blend a little bit. Now I'm doing this one. I'm actually gonna dip it into the rosé now, which is that light pink, and I'm dotting it on the edge. And now with the red one, again, dotting on the edge. I'm doing a little bit of a diagonal in here with the red because I like when my eye looks go in a little bit of a diagonal. I feel like that helps to bring my ends of my eyes up because I have a little bit of downturned eyes, like they go down at the end. Not a lot, but a little bit, and I feel like doing my eyes a little bit on the diagonal helps to lift them. That is enough for me. I don't want to do more than that. This was an eye look with just two shadows, and I gotta say I'm a big fan. I'm gonna use this brush that is the one that had the pink on it but no additional product, and I'm just gently gonna go over this edge just a little bit, not adding any pink but just to soften that up. But I am living for this eye look. Should I do red eyeliner? Because I think I have one. Ooh, red eyeliner and pink in my waterline. Definitely doing that. I have been using a little bit of this red eyeliner by Colourpop. Mine is a little bit dried out. I'm gonna be honest with you, besties. The shade is really beautiful though, but this is a couple of years old, and I think it's done its part in this world. I did use the Norvina Chroma Sticks in pastel pink, and then I put some of this pink on top of it. Let me put this on so I can show you the difference. So this is it without the pastel pink, and I'm just using a detailed brush, and I'm just tapping off a little bit, and I'm literally just putting it on top of the liner to make it match like the lid color, or like the inner part of my eye color maybe. So now it's looking like this. I think it looks really cool. Do I look fierce? I hope I do. I really like the look. I've always loved pink and red looks, and I've been very into all matte looks lately, so I'm happy to be able to like just combine my two favorites as of late. So I'm loving the look. Let me do some mascara and we can see how it looks before I put the falsies on. So this is the look with mascara. I am a big fan of how this looks. I think it just looks so... I feel cool. I feel cool. Do I look cool? Please be kind. Okie dokie, I have to say, I am living for this look. I feel like I look like someone who's fun, but a little bit crazy, which kind of fits in. How do I feel about this collection so far? I like this look even more than I like the other look, but I also think that this is more like my aesthetic. I will say this yellow-green duochrome. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And honestly, there are so many shades in here that I didn't use, so obviously I'm gonna have to use this again before like I give my like final verdict on it, because I've only used one of the 5 shimmer shades. But that one was incredible. I mean, you saw the swatches. I do like Nomad Cosmetics. I think they make really fun stuff. And I really like the undertones of these shades. That they're just a little bit different in the undertones. And that's something that I appreciate. And I like that there's like this cool, dusky, grayish corner over here. And then this reddish, peachy pink meeting with yellow in the middle. I like the theming, I like the color story, I like the looks that I did. This one is my favorite. The glosses are nice. It's not sticky, more balmy, a little bit of a stick to it, but definitely not like sticky. My hair won't like stick to it. My lips are not going like sticking together. I think it's just enough tack so that actually will stay on the lips a bit. I like this shade the most. I feel like a bright pink and a bright purple, that's not my journey. It's not what I wear. The other one was pretty, especially if you like more frosted lips, which is not usually what I wear. But if you want something highly reflective, that one is for you. But yeah, this collection is being available, if I'm not totally mistaken, on the 12th. I don't know if I said that. All the info will be in the description box. And like I said, there is a code you can use and you can get some money off. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about this. And I will see you again on Monday for a new video. Bye!